welcome you to today's ABC Board meeting. My name is Rick Hauser. I'm the chairman. Just like for everyone today, as you're speaking, to announce your name first so people who may be listening by phone or might be looking and back at us sometime in the future would know who we are. Okay, Bridget, that's the best I could do because I just realized he sent it to my email.
It's fine. That's
I
fine.
emailed it to you.
It's fine. I can pass. I've got a physical copy. So.
Okay, let me get back to the agenda. Okay, the first item of business is to approve the agenda for today. If you haven't had a chance to look at it, you feel okay with it? Any suggested changes?
No, okay.
I have a motion to approve the agenda then.
I make a motion.
Okay.
Second that motion.
Okay. All those in favor say aye.
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 Okay, Mason, now's your time to be sworn in, partner. We really are glad that you wanted to serve on our board. I think it's going to be a rewarding time for you, and we look forward to all your participation.
Raise your right. I, Mason Hurt,
I, Mason Hurt,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and maintain
that I will support and maintain
the Constitution and laws
the Constitution and laws
of the United States
of the United States
and the Constitution and laws
and the Constitution and laws
of North Carolina,
of North Carolina,
not inconsistent therewith,
not inconsistent therewith,
and that I will faithfully
that I will faithfully
and impartially
and impartially
execute the duties of my office
execute the duties of my office
as a board member
as a board member
of the Town of Gainesville ABC Board,
of the Town of Gainesville and the ABC Board,
according to the best of my skills,
according to the best of my skills,
abilities, and judgment,
abilities, and judgment,
so help me God.
so help me God. Thank you.
Oh, wait. Look at me, Bob. Okay. Maybe choose the sign here.
All right.
So, Mason, you'll have to complete some ethics training here soon, and Bridget will get you signed up for
I
that.
already sent it to
Yes,
him.
sir.
Okay, good deal.
I started this morning.
All right, great.
Standing. Welcome aboard.
Thank you. Okay, before we start the meeting, I'd like to ask anyone who might have a conflict of interest or even an appearance of a conflict of interest with anything that we're going to be discussing today. Okay, I'll need to make a note that when it comes time to discuss the RFP for bank financing, I'll need to exit the room, and Kirk is going to take over for me during the period of time. All right, next item, citizens' comments.
No one has registered to speak today.
Okay.
You pull up your participants list, just in case. Right there, yeah. Got it. Just Jackie. That's, oh, who's that? We have someone joining us via phone, phone number ending in 2772. Is that Jackie or is that someone else?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, Jackie, we can hear you.
I have to unmute from two places.
Got it. Okay. You're good. Yeah, you can mute the phone. We just wanted to make sure it was you and not someone else that wanted to comment during the public comment period.
Gotcha.
Okay, the next item is the consent agenda, which includes the minutes from the ABC Board regular meeting on March the 16th. The action requested is to approve the consent agenda. I hope everyone's had a chance to review the minutes. Do I have a motion to approve?
I make a motion to approve the agenda.
I second it.
Okay, thank you. All those in favor say aye.
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 Okay, motion passed. Next item, old business, update on the renovation and relocation of the ABC store. I'm just going to turn all this over to Bridget, but just to give you a high 40,000-foot view, everything continues to progress. We did run into one item as far as the fire exit building code matter that I think we're getting resolved here. As soon as that's finished, we'll get the building permit. They'll get started. Hopefully they can still turn the building over to us when we hope, like the 1st of June. Rick Turner's already ordered the fixtures. We are a little concerned that there will be some delivery delays on that. So if everybody will just bear in mind that we're all going to be trying to do the best we can in the time that we are in this pandemic where people just can't control delivery dates any longer. So Bridget has done an excellent job in keeping things on track. She's got that POS system in place and working through the town on the sign ordinance issue that we got. So Bridget, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Yes, absolutely. So we have the final construction drawings complete. As Rick said, we are just waiting on one small update regarding an emergency exit issue. We should have that today. Elizabeth said that she's going to get it as quick as possible, so we'll be able to finalize everything then. I did want to share with everyone, Rick and I met with Rick Turner to finalize finishes, and I'd like to share them with you guys this morning. So this is what we have selected for flooring for the store. And then these are going to be our overall finishes. So this here is going to be any vertical surface laminate that we have. So the end caps of the fixtures, the end caps of the gondolas, the front of the cash wrap. This will be our laminate for the top of the cash wrap. So any horizontal surfaces that we have that will require laminate. Our top, if you can see in this picture here, the top wall is going to be this called Dorian gray color. And then any trim pieces, so the crown molding around the tops of the pillars and the end caps, the crown molding that goes around the destination sign, that will be done in this rust gray here. The actual fixtures themselves, the shelving, it's going to be done in this particular metal. What is it? Powder-coated aluminum? What do you think? So that'll be done in this. And then our destination signs in the wall, I wanted to pull in just a little bit of blue from our ABC logo. So it's going to be done in this navy as the back sign, and then the actual destination sign will be in the lighter cream color with the vodka with the bourbon in the destination sign. We'll have that also on the tops of the gondolas. That will have the destination signs for those as well. So it'll just be kind of hanging signs there. This is going to be I know we had talked about there's a display that's going to be built in the very back middle of the store.
Yep.
And we're in the process of designing a front porch display for that. So in talks with Rick Turner, we're going to have two posts that come up like the front porch post. It'll be a pergola style awning that comes over the top. And then this shiplap will be the front of the house siding, essentially. We'll have two porch lights that go on each picture, on each column. And this is the beadboard backing for the backs of the shelving. I'll pass this around for you guys as well. It'll be painted this rose gray color, but it's what this is going to look like from here. So I'll pass this around for you guys.
Yeah.
As far as the sign, just an update on that. We have paid for the text amendment request with the planning department for Youngsville. That will go before the planning board in May, and then we'll go before town council in May for them to approve the text amendment. We have asked for there to be basically for the ordinance to allow for 1.5 square feet per linear foot of the storefront, which will be exactly what we need to have the sign as it is presented by Mercury Design. So that should go, the May board meeting is, what date?
13th.
The 13th. If that is approved at that meeting, the next day we will submit our sign permit to the town and get the ball rolling. I spoke with Mercury Sign Designs, and they have stated that we need roughly 4 weeks from the day they submit the order through the end of installation. So we'll still be in line with our timeline.
So Bridget, I think we tabled the approval of the
Yes.
sign. Will will we approve that in May, or do we need to approve it this month?
It's not on the agenda to vote to approve this month.
Okay,
If you'd like to, what the board can do is you can vote to amend your agenda to include that item, and you can approve the sign design contingent upon the town board's approval of the amendment to the sign ordinance. That would allow Bridget to act without further action by this body.
yeah.
That to me makes sense,
Yeah.
but of course, it's your decision.
The next item on the agenda is to continue the discussion of the agreement with Mercury Signs.
So
The
you
only
can
thing,
do it during that.
yeah, the only thing we had, actually requested to table until after, but, that's just a request that you don't have, you can do what you
Okay,
want.
good deal. All right.
No agenda amendment would be necessary then.
Okay.
I'm sorry, but I was thinking you were already in that.
No, it's okay. Yeah, that's okay. I mean, I had an update in the new store project piece.
Okay, good deal.
So that's really all I have for the new store opening. So, we're continuing to secure product for the new store. So, and we have been going really heavy in getting just the word out about the grand opening for July 1st. So, people are really excited.
I took up that sign yesterday, it's in the back of my truck,
Okay.
the yellow sign up front.
Okay.
I don't know if you wanna put any kind of coming soon sign on the front.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's allowable or not, but I encourage you to do that.
You just need to get the property owners or the landlord's approval, and then I would just ask Aaron,
Okay.
because signs are,
Yeah.
something that the town regulates. I'm pretty sure it's permissible, and I think if you wanted to, you could even do I think you can get a temporary sign permit for a feather sign if you wanted to put something up. I mean, there's lots of different stuff you can do for a grand opening, but yeah, you just ask Erin as the town planner
Okay.
that she can advise you.
Okay, so you wanna go ahead and go into the sign discussion now?
Yeah. Okay, so just so that you can, as a reminder, this is what we are asking for in our text amendment to the town council. So this is what you will be voting for approval today, contingent upon their approval of the ordinance change.
And is the white section illuminated?
Yes.
Okay.
So these are all channel lit letters.
Mhm.
So these will be lighted, and then this will be basically kind of a cutout that the white part, the Youngco part, will be lit from inside the box, basically.
Who do we need approval for that? Is it town council?
Because right now, the sign ordinance for the town only allows for 32 square feet total, which is almost half of what our total sign is.
I recall.
But in the shopping center, a lot of the businesses that are there were
Grandfathered.
grandfathered in because they were already there. So we're just asking to be treated like our neighbors, essentially, that we have a sign that's a similar size. So that's what we requested.
That looks great.
Yeah.
It does look nice.
And we already have approval from the commission. I had them sign off on it before I even present it to you guys. So as long as we get our text amendment approved, then
You have approval from the landlord, is that what you're saying?
landlord and the ABC commission.
Okay, good, perfect.
We will be the only ABC store in the state of North Carolina that has our ABC logo in the sign. So,
It would be one of many firsts.
That's right.
Yep.
All right, there's an action here to table the discussion, but if anyone would like to amend that, and make a motion that we go ahead and approve the signed contract on the condition that we get the text amendment approval from the town.
And just for clarity, if the motion could be made to approve option one as is pictured here, that way when Emily includes this document that you're looking at in the minutes, it'll be clear which version the board's approving.
I'll make a motion that we approve option one, pending that we get approval from the board.
Okay?
Second.
Second. Any other discussion, any other questions? Okay, All those in favor say aye.
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 Okay, motion carried. Thanks, Brittany.
Okay.
Okay, the next item on the agenda is a matter that I'll need to exit the room on, and clerk's going to take over from there.
One other question, actually, if you don't mind. Do we need to approve the contract? Have we executed an agreement with the sign vendor?
No, I have,
Is that in the approved budget?
yes, in the capital budget, yes.
Okay.
Which we approved.
Okay, last meeting, right? Okay, great.
Yeah.
So as long as it's in the budget, then you have the authority to execute that agreement. Okay, sorry.
And
I
I-
just wanted to make sure that you have it.
I presented the quote for everything.
Got it.
Hey,
Everything will
Rick.
come during the capital expenditure
Excuse me, Rick.
budget.
Can I use your,
Yep.
I don't seem to have
The agenda,
well, I have an agenda, but it's not very,
clicking it. Black on it. Y'all are going to come get me, right?
Maybe.
You can sit in my office if you like, Rick.
I want to go.
Okay, sounds good.
Get a snack.
There you go.
Okay, Jackie, I'll present what I have, and if you just want to chime in for any thoughts that you have as part of the finance committee.
Okay.
So, with the request for proposals that we sent out, we sent them to 3 banks, First Citizens, Union Bank, and Benchmark. We basically were looking for a $200,000 revolving line of credit, which was presented at the last board meeting. And Benchmark and Union Bank came back with very similar interest rates and features. First Citizens was quadruple what the other two were. So Jackie and I looked at Union Bank and Benchmark, just kind of comparing overall, because they both were requesting that we have our deposit services with them to get the best possible rate. In discussion with Benchmark Bank, they actually came back with an even lower rate. So they were the exact same previously. So now they have provided us with the lowest rate and have provided really the best level of service so far. So under my recommendation, and I think Jackie as well, we are recommending that the board votes to approve us going with Benchmark Community Bank for our line of credit services. I'll show you guys the so they have offered us a $200,000 revolving line of credit with a tax exempt rate of 1.45%. They are offering us a 12-month term renewable annually, so we'll just present to them our financial statements at the end of the year if we would like to utilize the line of credit for an additional year, and they'll just reapprove us to extend the term of the line of credit. One of the things that really stood out with Benchmark Bank is they're charging us 0 fees, nothing. Union Bank was charging no origination fees, but they were going to charge us for their attorney fees to review our documents to secure our tax rate exempt status. So we were going to have to pay up to $2,000 in fees for that. Benchmark is charging us no fees. So again, this is my recommendation to the board based on their level of service, them offering the best interest rate for us, no fees to take advantage of the line of credit. Jackie, do you have any thoughts or comments?
No, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I would just, and I believe this will work, but I just want to make sure that it'll link with QuickBooks before we, officially change. I think I have another customer that has linked it, but I just want to verify.
Okay.
Can you pull up that
Other
letter?
than that, no, I don't have anything else.
Can you just, who is this from, if you don't mind me asking?
Kyle.
Who have you been working with at Benchmark?
Kyle Williams.
Okay.
And then Tish
Elliott?
Yes, she
Okay.
has been, she also put together a deposit services proposal for us, which was just, basically free online banking and
Mm-hmm.
change services and
Got it. Just for clarity, the reason why Rick's picked that obviously is because Rick works for Benchmark Bank. The town actually recently solicited banking services, and we decided to go with Benchmark. So, for what it's worth, this is a very objective decision. Fortunately, with banking services, it's a very simple choice. Most of the times, whoever charges the lowest interest, borrowing rate is generally who you go with. And for what it's also worth, because you said that the other competitor was Union Bank, and that deposit services would be rolled in with this, the town is moving its deposit services to Benchmark Bank because the services, the portfolios of retail banking services that are provided from Benchmark exceed, in my opinion, significantly that provided by Union Bank. For example, and Jackie would appreciate this, clear checks, we've had to email Union Bank to get copies of clear checks, whereas, Benchmark's online banking platform, you can just log in and, these are things that as retail, personal banking customers, we get used to where it's hey, I want to, get a copy of a clear check. You should just be able to log into the bank's website and get a copy of it, right? Union Bank, for some reason, their entire portfolio of online banking services is kind of well behind its peers, and so, that's another reason why I would recommend going with the Benchmark over Union Bank, just because the town's experience with the lower level of service when it comes to a variety of different things. So I agree with Jackie that you would certainly want to confirm that the online banking environment is compatible with QuickBooks and the other technological resources she uses to manage the finance of the ABC board. But anyway, that's my feedback. I don't know if you have any comments based on that, Jackie, but based on what we've experienced so far with Benchmark, I think I would argue to say that their level of service from the tech perspective will exceed that of Union Bank.
Yeah, I haven't had any problems seeing check copies in Union Bank, so I don't experience that issue, but
Got it.
I know that Emily has said that the back end of Benchmark is she likes it better than Union. I will say that Union just updated their back end.
They did.
A few weeks ago. But a different interest rate. I understand it. We're really not writing that many checks through the bank right now anyway. It's all going through Melio and getting paid electronically, so I'm fine with it as long as it'll link to QuickBooks, which I have another client and I've verified he has linked it. So I just want to confirm again that it will link, and then once I confirm that, I should be good.
Okay. So I think that
Are we hearing that we're getting the thumbs up then from Jackie?
yeah.
Yeah, it sounds
Okay.
Yeah, and you, in the similar way that you did the contingent approval for the sign, you can motion to make a contingent approval based on the finance officer's satisfaction with the technological integration of the banking service platform with what she's using.
All right. Well, let's go ahead. Does anyone have a need for a discussion on this matter?
No.
Okay. Does anyone have a motion to make a contingent approval on this matter?
I make a motion based upon the contingent approval.
Second.
Okay. Does all those approve?
Yes.
Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Perfect.
All right, I'll remember it.
Thank you. Thank you, Jackie.
Thank you. Hey, I think I may already have it, but will you send me their contact information?
Yeah, I will.
Verify.
Okay, yeah, I will. I'll send you both,
Thank you.
Tish and Kyle.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Rick, just to give you an update, the board did just vote to approve, using Benchmark,
great.
just contingent upon Jackie verifying that her QuickBooks Online program will integrate with back office.
Okay,
So we would actually use them for our, line of credit, and we will be moving our deposit services over.
okay, good deal.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, next item on the agenda is new business, presentation of rules of conduct, policy draft. The key word there being draft.
Yes. So this is just kind of an informational, presentation for you guys in that, especially now that we have a full board, Rick and I and Phil have just been talking about wanting to establish attendance and participation and just board rules in general for how we want our ABC systems run. So Emily was nice enough to solicit from some other clerks within the state what they already have in place for their ABC board or overall advisory board rules. And I took some of those parts and put them together and then sent it to Phil, and Phil has marked it up with his government guardrails for us around some ideas to kind of help that tailor to our ABC board. So some things that I wanted to highlight that that we will need to take before the town council for appointment and approval would be membership and attendance with compensation tied to that. So essentially, board member compensation will continue at the rate which is set by the town commissioners, which is $49.92 per month right now, if I'm not mistaken. And so the town council will set the compensation for ABC board members in Youngsville, but we would like to tie that into your attendance for any meetings for that month. So regular meetings, if there's an emergency meeting called or a special meeting that is needed, if as part of a committee, property committee, finance committee, operations committee, if we have anything scheduled where you have committed to coming in to meet with vendors or myself or Phil or anyone from the town to consult in some type of operational aspect of the ABC system, and you don't show up to that, that's considered being absent. So we really just want to make sure that everyone from the board is here and participating, and compensate you for your time in that, but that's where this thing came from. Do you guys have an opportunity to review this before today?
Yes.
Any thoughts, comments?
I had a question about conflict of interest. I didn't really understand that section.
I think it's just generally stating what some of the conflict of interest guidelines are, that if you are, we'll just pull from the advisory board.
So, yeah,
Or if you're applying for
I thought about making a comment on this when I reviewed this, and I didn't, but I think we could probably revise this language. Just so you're aware, Rick, this comes from planning board type matters. So basically this is kind of coming from the perspective of, we want to make sure that the planning board members that might be adjudicating zoning matters or things of that nature haven't protested the specific matter or like own property within a certain close proximity. So we could probably revise this language to be more specific, or perhaps more general, just about, conflict of interest existing when you have a financial interest in a potential decision coming before the board and that type of thing. So we can certainly revise this language.
I was thinking maybe we could just reference the General Statute 18B-201.
We can certainly do that, and we can probably use some of the language and then just cite the statute as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that's a good comment.
Yeah.
We put it in there just to see if you'd ask about it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Any other questions or
I think everything else looks fine to me.
One thing that,
Nope, let's
Lila,
do it.
okay. One thing that we do need to do today is, for someone to not volunteer or for us to nominate, someone to serve as vice chairperson. I don't know if other ABC boards typically have one in place, but I think it, especially with having a full board, it is a good idea for us to have someone that if Rick can't serve or show up one day, or if he has to excuse himself for some reason, we have someone that can act as vice chairperson. As stated in here, if the chairperson exits the chairperson role for some reason, then the vice chairperson would serve in that role until the end of that term, and a new one will be selected by the town commissioners. If we volunteer someone today or appoint someone, then we would take it to the town council for them to actually appoint that person.
I think Kirk would be an ideal person for that position. He's been here the longest out of the two of us.
Kirk, would you be interested in serving as vice chairperson?
I'd be thrilled.
Okay. Okay.
I'd be happy to step up.
Good. Awesome. Okay. So I will work with Emily and Phil on starting the process for that so that we can present that quickly at the May town council meeting, Emily. Just already getting on.
Probably on the consent agenda.
I wouldn't put it on the consent agenda just
Rather
because,
discuss.
yeah, it doesn't need to be discussed. I mean, I think it'll be a 30-second matter, but I think it should be a
Yeah.
agenda item just because of the significance. This person, might become the chairperson of this board, which has significant responsibility and, is charged with a considerable amount of financial resources, so.
And I'll do a memo to let them know that, the recommendation came from the full ABC board.
Yeah.
Great. Okay. I will continue to fine tune this. I'm going to partner with Phil in it. But I would ideally like to have a finalized version for you guys at the May meeting so that we can approve it as a board, because for us to adopt it officially, I also have to get the ABC Commission's approval on it. So once we've approved it as a board, I will send it to the ABC Commission for their approval. And then ideally, it will officially go into effect as of July 1, starting this fiscal year,
Good.
for me to adopt the compensation and attendance policy into our next year's budget. So,
We appreciate you taking care of this.
yeah, absolutely.
Okay, going into the reports, COVID-19 update, anything you need to tell us on that, Bridget?
No major changes. The governor opened retail back up to 100% occupancy with the stores. It really hasn't impacted us a whole lot because it's not like we have, 50 people shopping at once necessarily. The staff are still wearing their masks. We're not really getting a lot of, complaints about it from customers either. So I think that's kind of the normal at this point. So no big news to report on that.
I noticed our mixed beverage sales numbers are up. That's a good sign.
Yeah.
Good.
Yep. Last month was $6,000. That's the most they've issued on average between $400 and $4,500, and they did $6,000 last month.
I do have a few comments today. My daughter and I visited the store last night because I wanted to see what $200,000 worth of inventory looked like inside the building, and it is very impressive. I was very pleased when I walked in and saw how you had everything merchandised there, so I encourage everybody to go in and take a look too. Now that we've got a full board, I appreciate having the opportunity. Maybe we'll have a lunch now that we're in. I may just call on each of you, sometime between next month, and as we go into planning for next fiscal year, might see what your interest might be in terms of serving on a special committee of some sort. So if it's agreeable with you all, I may just call them out of the blue and have an invitation to Bridget, and I'll take you guys out to lunch, and we'll talk about what your interests are and how you want to plug in. Okay?
Yes.
I want to point out Bridget is going to be bringing us the preliminary budget for next year to next month's meeting. So if you all will participate in that exercise. I think we can handle that through our regular meetings instead of having a separate call planning meeting for the year. I am a little bit concerned with our inventory and how we're reporting our financial information, so I'll be interested in hearing Jackie's report today and any suggestions that she might have on how we can take a little bit better account of our inventory and our cost of goods sold.
I actually have something for that.
Okay, all right, good deal, all right. I can't think of anything else, but I do want to welcome you on the board. I have some real high expectations for you, because I know your family well, and I know you'll do a great job for the town and the agency. I appreciate it.
Welcome.
Okay. Molly, would you have anything to report today?
No. I did visit the store, met all the staff. I think it was, a couple weeks ago, 2-3 weeks ago, as well as I did complete my ethics training.
Good.
So I know Lori sent me a thank you note.
Good.
So I assume you received the certificate as well.
Just curious, how long did it take you?
I would say it took me about an hour and a half.
Really? Goodness, I thought it took me almost all day.
Yeah, just knock it out, Rick.
Okay.
Well, you know,
Just knock it out. So they'll stop asking me.
actually it was very clear and it was quite easy.
I may not get reappointed. Well, thank you.
I mean, it just kind of went very smoothly.
Yeah.
You know, you
They
just
might
put
have
little
improved it
quizzes.
since last time you took it.
They put little quizzes in there. You just moved on to the next thing, little quizzes. So
Good.
it could have taken more than 2 hours
Okay.
at the very most. In fact, they tell you that at the beginning.
Well, I'm encouraged now.
It tells you at the beginning it's at 2 hours aside. But
Got it.
Good. Kurt? Nothing, Dad? Awesome. All right, thank you. Mason, you?
just glad to be here. For those who don't know me, I grew up here in town, lived here all my life. My dad, my brother, all of us live right here in town. I'm very active in the Youngsville Masonic Lodge, do a lot of community service with that, golf tournaments, scholarships, and, I just thought this was another opportunity for me to give back to the community. So, but I'm just glad to be here and look forward to helping ABC board grow and store prosper.
So, Jackie, do you have a report for us today?
Bridget's going to talk about inventory. That's really my major concern. Sales are up and continue to go up. The amount of liquor invoices we're receiving continues to go up. Payroll costs are starting to go down. So that's a positive. Other than that, I don't really have it. Once, Bridget talks about the cost of goods sold and inventory, that's a huge thing. We did sign the audit contract, and Rick, I think you had to sign that, so we went ahead and signed the audit contract and the engagement letter for the audit. Other than that, I don't really have a whole lot.
So, Jackie, when do we need to start talking about your contract for next year? Is that coming up soon for the expiration date and everything?
Yeah, Bridget and I are actually going to sit down and talk about that probably in the next week or so.
Okay, good deal. We'll just need to make sure to make that an agenda item coming up. Good. And Jackie, when the auditors come in, let's share with them our concern about inventory and making sure everything checks out. I don't believe they actually conducted a physical inventory last year because of COVID, but
they do. They do
Okay,
conduct
good.
a physical inventory count. And they've scheduled a date with Bridget already to do that physical inventory count. Hopefully we will get our internal inventory count correct prior to them being there. But that's generally all last year that was all they did. They came on at the end of June, did the inventory count, and then they conducted the audit virtually or basically remotely last year.
All right, good. Anything else, Jackie?
I do not have anything else, no.
Anything? Bridget?
I have a lot of stuff. So I will actually start with the cost of goods sold issue, since we just got the financial report for that. So we have officially switched over our POS vendor, as you guys voted on last month. I tried very hard to get that implemented before April 1st so that we could go ahead and get our inventory done on the new system. It just didn't work out with them getting the loaner equipment for us and stuff. So unfortunately, we didn't get our POS installed until April 6th, and we didn't get our inventory scanners until last week. So I apologize that cost of goods sold inventory is not 100% accurate yet. Jason did a preliminary inventory yesterday for the first time with the scanner, and he's working on finalizing that one today. What I have scheduled is a last day of the month inventory for the store. Carrie, the town finance officer, is like super excited, and she says she loves inventory and she wants to come help scan. I have gladly accepted her request to do that. I'm going to be there with Jason to conduct it, and I would actually like to request 2 board members if someone would like to volunteer to come help us count inventory.
I'll do it. I
okay.
like doing it too.
Perfect. So Lila, great.
And what day is that?
It's April 30th. It's that Friday.
What?
I'll send you a calendar invite,
Okay.
Lila. The 30th at 8 a.m.
Absolutely.
You gonna come too?
Absolutely.
Perfect.
You got 2 retail experts.
Yeah, good. So we will do, I figure with the 5 of us, we can knock out the whole store in 2 hours. I chose this day specifically because it is the last day of the month. It'll give us the most accurate possible cost of goods sold inventory stock on hand when we do our report to Jackie that day. So when you guys get the April financial report, that cost of goods sold should be to the dollar incorrect.
Good deal.
Okay, thank you guys for volunteering. Okay, so Rick mentioned visiting the store, noticing a lot of new product in the store. I just wanted to give Jason a shout out, the new store manager over there. He has done a phenomenal job of securing product for our store. He's definitely causing a buzz with neighboring places, and he is causing a buzz on social media with a lot of these. There's 2 major urban groups that are chatting about Youngsville right now as the place of choice to shop, even over Wake County. So I want to just make sure that, next time you guys stop by the store and see Jason, definitely give him a pound back. He's doing a great job. He's building his relationships with groups. Last Tuesday, when we got our truck in, we had 25 or 30 people waiting for almost 3 hours because he has put such a great buzz out around what he's doing with ordering. They literally just hung out in the store for 3 hours and outside and waiting for us to get the product on the floor.
Was that the event that was going on in the parking lot?
Yes.
I thought it was a pizza party.
No.
That was outstanding.
It was just that, we had and Jason, he has built this reputation for getting in stuff that's hard to get. We did over $12,000 that day on a Tuesday.
You guys need to schedule a food truck on those days.
Well, I have been thinking about just ways to kind of
That is outstanding.
make that an even more pleasurable experience for the customers that day. So.
Yeah, I've heard
Well, you're
that.
next to the Mexican restaurant. I'm sure they'll love you. on
Yeah.
those days.
Oh, yeah. Well, they've already been talking about how they're just going to go to the restaurant and wait now.
There you go.
So,
Take a number.
yeah.
We'll text you when you're.
Yeah.
That's great.
you know, and with that, right before I started, Phil was nice enough to create our official Youngsville ABC Facebook page. I have given one of the part-time employees there, Trey,
Yeah.
he did social media for the movie theater.
Excellent.
I gave him 50 cents more an hour to be our marketing manager. So he's going to run our Facebook page for us. I have him on there as a moderator, so I still, you know, approve any posts that he does. But he's putting some cute, clever stuff out there, and we had 112 people sign up for our newsletter in one day.
Wow.
Based on one of Trey's posts that he did.
Is there some type of link you can send us where we can sign up?
Yeah. It's on our Facebook page. You click the button that says sign. It's like super easy. I'll send you guys the link to it.
Yeah, we just went there and liked the page.
Yeah. Yep.
So the Facebook page is labeled what?
Youngsville ABC.
Okay.
Yep. I'll send you guys the link to it. In fact, I have something else I'm going to show you in a few minutes that you'll be able to get to it very quickly, actually. We have almost 400 people that have signed up for our newsletter now. And just to give you like a frame of reference, we just really started this around March 1st. So since March 1st, we have grown our customer base in our CRM essentially to 400 people. So now I've just started partnering with Phil yesterday. We're ready to start sending out our newsletter and events updates and things like that. So I will be working on that this upcoming week. Because we have our first tasting on Friday from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. You guys can't all come together, but
So, I'm sorry to interject.
Yeah, it's okay.
And this is one of the things I was going to mention in my meeting, but I'll just mention it now very briefly. So one of the good things that Rick was mentioning earlier about having lunch with you guys is that now that there's 5 people on the board, there are state laws with regard to public meetings, and because there used to be only 3 members on the board, anytime 2 people get together, that's a quorum, right? It's a majority of the members of the board, and if you're discussing business, then there has to be a public notice so people know and can attend and listen to your discussion, right? Because you might be making business decisions or at least talking about business. And so now that we have 5 members, 2 people can get together, and that's still not a majority of the board. So that's why Rick now can invite one of you to lunch, and we don't have to give a public notice about that event. And so, but for the purposes of tastings, I think it's acceptable for you all to show up. I would advise you, just be aware that you cannot together collectively discuss any business type matter. So you can feel free to, all 5 of you stand together and talk about, how you like this liquor or you like that liquor or whatever, but you can't talk about changing the store hours or, anything that might affect the ABC board's operations, if that makes sense. So you kind of have to just be deliberate about knowing, hey, if there's 3 or more of us, or if there's a quorum present in any place, we can't discuss business matters unless we've given proper public notice. Otherwise, we run into issues with, violating the public meetings laws. So I still think it's acceptable for them to attend. I think I just, advise the board members to be aware that you can't, as a group, discuss business matters. Now, Mason, if one of the customers of the store, for example, approaches you and says, hey, what about these store hours or whatever the case is, I mean, you feel free to discuss, with them whatever business matters you like, but you just can't be with 2 other members at the same time talking about it because, again, that just violates the state law. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yep.
So I think it's okay if it is.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Good. Well, then I would like to officially invite you guys and encourage you to stop by, even if it's just for a minute, if you've got some free time. Again, from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. It's the End of Days Distiller. They're a North Carolina distillery out of Wilmington, North Carolina, and she actually has been, she booked this back in February, so she's been really excited about partnering with us. We're still not getting a lot of participation from the vendors yet, just because of COVID, and they're not opening up their sales reps to do a lot of tastings yet. But we would like for this first one to go really well and for us to have a good crowd so that the Youngsville community can kind of see what we're doing here. We will have an alcohol education class in conjunction with it, as we will for all of them. I've spoken to Chief Whitley, and in future tastings, we will have the Youngsville Police Department present just to say hi to the community. I mean, it's very important to me as well that everything that we do is a positive impact on the community, and I think that the ABC stores can get a negative perception sometimes, and I want the Youngsville community to see that what we do is for the Youngsville community. That our money goes back into the community, and the things that we do are for that. So we're working to try to make our tasting a community event, not just about the liquor tasting. So.
Is this the first tasting that we've ever had?
Yes. Yeah, I don't think Lori.
No, it is.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, just another sales update note. We are on trend right now to do $215,000 a month. So, I set a budget for, just the unofficial budget for the store, of $210,000 as their kind of sales incentive number to beat. If they beat that, then they're going to earn a lunch from Sharon's Deli and a coffee from Pack House. I want to do something to support local business this month. So just based on what they've already done, and just if they do the minimum amount for the rest of the month, then it looks like they're going to get $215,000. I already talked to Jason a couple days ago, and I think we're going to set a goal for ourselves of $226 in May. Because $225 is the highest sales month that the store's ever had, and that was December, this past December, so right in the peak of the pandemic. So we're going to set it for $226 so that we can have yet another first for us. So just with all of that, again, I really encourage you guys to take a few minutes and stop by the store whenever you can. It's on your way out a lot of times, so just pat the team on the back, encourage them. They're all really excited about what we're doing and our growth, and they're working very hard to just really join our vision and execute what we're trying to do as an ABC board, and it really is making us stand out right now, so it's really great.
Hey, Bridget, can I ask a quick question?
Yeah.
I saw an email that you had said something, how we ranked among other ABC stores in the state as far as monthly sales. Could you share that again, so I'm clear?
Yeah, so for the month of March, or month of February, we were number 14 in the state for comp sales versus last year. Last month, we weren't in the top for that, but I did want to highlight that overall as a state, the ABC stores saw a loss versus last year of about, I think it was 0.48%, and we actually had growth of 4.5% versus last year.
So the ranking was based on percentage of growth year over year?
Yes.
Do you know how we stand as far as just actual dollars sales? Is there a ranking for that too?
Yeah, I can send that out to you guys. And there's actually a section on the state's website, if you could send that to the board members as well. And I say that just because there's a lot of other very, very good reporting that the state requires from all of its ABC stores that you might, find interesting if you have an extra hour to kill after your 2-hour, ethics training.
Yeah. I'm actually I will add those links to something I'm getting ready to show you guys so that you guys can reference.
Ooh, the Facebook page, maybe?
Well, I can show them the Facebook page, and I'll show them the team site.
Yeah.
Okay. I have another section that I wanted to present during our meetings. I like to call it Great Place to Work updates, just around some things that we're doing for the team there to retain talent and just make sure that we're making Youngsville ABC a good place to work. One thing, I verified all federal posters have been updated. They have brand new fresh ones, everything. We're in compliance now. The app that we're using for timekeeping and scheduling is called Homebase, and they actually just rolled out a really cool new feature that for the team, for all of their stores, but it's called Cash Out, and it allows them to basically whatever hours they have worked and wages they have earned, they can basically cash that out prior to their paycheck if they need it. And it doesn't come from us, it comes from Homebase. And so then Homebase will automatically deduct that from their earnings reported to us. So it's not anything to do with us, it's just a feature that they have that they can take advantage if they want to. It's like getting your paycheck a little bit early if you want. But
is there some type of fee associated with that? Really?
It's 100% free for them.
Are you good with this, Jackie?
This is the first I've heard of it. I gotta figure it out.
I'll send it to you, Jackie. It doesn't have anything to do with us.
Off
We're
the
not
top of
involved.
my head, I mean, does that mean that home base is gonna send them a W-2?
Yeah.
Because,
What, I just asked the question because I think it warrants more discussion between the manager and the finance officer, and the board, I don't think needs to be involved other than to
Yeah.
advise that additional discussion should be had about this topic.
Yeah, okay. So they just add that option. I did want to show you,
Oh, there it goes. Needed to wake up.
Okay, so I actually sent everyone, did you guys get the invitation in your email?
I got an invitation. I can verify that.
I don't think I
They
did.
might not. Okay. To become a member of the group.
Yes,
You
Yeah.
did get it, Kurt.
yes,
Okay.
I did.
Mason?
I didn't understand it, but, my wife will help me with that one.
Okay. I will send you the link to this. So it's more for the ABC store employees, but it will also house some things for you guys. I wanted you to have access to this as well, so that you can just kind of see some updates as to what we're doing for the ABC store team, but also, I'll have links in here that will be reference points for you guys as well if you need it. So just kind of overview, we have a new section where we have a welcome message for any new members. It just lets them know what the site is for. It just houses important documents, such as if someone wants to change their direct deposit form, instead of them having to ask Jason, and then Jason asks me, and I have to ask Jackie, it's housed in here. They have access to the site. They can click on it, update it, and then email it over to Jackie as our finance officer to implement. There are other important sites listed here. I have listed just some things that are important to us, our customers, ethics and values, and then community. And then if I go home here, I have our new store grand opening countdown. So we're 72 days and 3 hours until the grand opening of our new location. Here you'll see where we have some of the important documents that the employees will need to access at some point. All the job descriptions are listed here. This is a quick guide for any new employees. It talks about ABC laws in the state. Employee contact list, again, in case any of you would ever need to contact any of the employees, all current active employees are listed in this list, email and phone number. The most current policy manual is housed here, a safety plan that they actually have a safety box at the store that has a emergency weather radio, flashlight, the emergency plans for any of that stuff at the store. But in case someone needs to know what the safety plan is, direct deposit forms, important links that they will need access. So one of them being the newsletter sign up. Bill actually had put this together prior to me starting here. I have edited it to include like what specific products do they want to be contacted about, and then for customers to have the option to rate their visit and give any comments, which is, I sent customer comments out to you guys pretty recently. I will continue to share those with you if you would like. It's one of my favorite things to do every day is to log in and see what new comments have been listed. They are overwhelmingly positive. We have, as I said before, we have 400 people that have signed up for our customer our newsletter right now, and there's one not 5-star review on there. So I think Lila can probably tell you, and Kurt, that to have an NPS score that high is unheard of. So
Absolutely, yeah.
so that's our newsletter sign up. There's a link to our Facebook page here, so you can just click the Facebook page here, where you can like our Facebook page. You can share it if you would like. You can see some little stuff that we share. This was what we posted about our truck day, because everyone was like, what's going on in the store? And we had 20 or 30 people waiting, and Trey has been making some posts. We actually created a truck day event so that we have posted what on the second and fourth Tuesday of every month, that's what our truck days are going to be. They're posting about when they're doing the lottery draw to be able to purchase land in the Buffalo Trace.
Get a little buffalo, little
Yes,
graphic
yeah.
there.
Or, and the third on that, we're not allowed to post pictures or list names of stuff necessarily, so
That's as far as you can go in
Yes.
compliance.
yes,
I understand.
yes. So yeah,
It's crossed everything.
so that's our Facebook page. Homebase, which is the scheduling and timekeeping app that we're utilizing, there's a link to that on there as well. Show you how that works. And then Tell Youngsville website, and I need to fix this link actually, so I'm not doing that. But it has our ABC team calendar on here. So if you guys want to reference any events that we're doing at the store, you'll have access to see that as well. I have our board meetings on here, so the team knows what the end of the pay periods are, paydays, events that we're having, in-the-month inventory, any tastings that we do. I have all the board members' house on here with your contact information, as well as myself and Jason. And then I have this on here. This is one of my favorite team building things. There's a book written by John Gordon, if you guys haven't had a chance to look at it, called The Energy Bus. And it is just a story basically about surrounding yourself with positivity and being a positive person. And so there is a picture on my desk actually on the Positive Pledge, and it's part of his Energy Bus book. And so I talk about it with every new team that I have, every new hire that I've ever hired. We have this big thing about the Energy Bus. So you get a chance to look at it, please do. It's really great. But I have that house in here too for our team members. So in all of that being said, you guys are members of this group as well. I will send you the actual link to it so you can just click it and bookmark it on your web pages. But I encourage you guys to be active in here as well. I'll continue to post information and events for you guys. If there's anything that's pertinent to board information, I'll actually create a board folder in here for you guys. I won't put anything that is confidential or that we don't want someone just random from the store to see that's board information, but any just overall information that you guys think we'll have there. Okay. Any questions, comments?
No, but it all looks good.
Good. Okay. Couple last minute notes. I will be posting the new positions for the new store around the first week of May. So Jason and I are going to start interviews. Our goal, I think we're going to hire 5 part-time employees, 6 part-time employees for the store, 1 full-time shift supervisor to serve in an assistant manager capacity, and then 1 part-time shift supervisor. So we'll start interviewing for those roles around the first week of May. I want to give us plenty of time to find the best candidate. I think around the beginning part of May is going to be a good time for us to start securing those interviews.
Excuse me, would any staff from the existing store have an opportunity to post for those jobs?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
And I think that's what we'll do is we will interview for the positions, and then we will place people in the store that is the best, that in the best interest of our business based on their skills, knowledge, and abilities. Because it'll be 2 different types of stores. So, and then inventory, I already discussed that. The POS upgrade was a huge success. There's little kinks to work out with any software implementation. Steve Gaskin Consulting has been phenomenal in responding immediately and quickly to any issues that we have run across. I would like to just, give them a shout out that one of their IT guys came to fix an issue that we had and to bring us a scanner for our Truck Tuesday. And he was teaching Jason how to do it, and we were so busy. He was like bringing liquor boxes out and like talking to customers and helping customers on the sales floor when he was just there to teach Jason how to use the inventory scanner. So they really have been phenomenal. It was a wonderful choice to go with them. But that has been a success so far. I will continue to share customer comments with you guys, as I stated. Mason, when you complete your ethics, if you could email that to me.
Send me a link again, okay? I'll go on and do it.
Okay, thank you. Once Mason and Rick complete their ethics training, we will be 100% compliant as a board, and the commission will appreciate that, so thank you. And then I just wanted to update you guys around the budget aspect. Rick already mentioned the May meeting, so we talked about this timeline at the March meeting, but just wanted to remind everyone. So I will be presenting to you guys basically a final draft of the budget in May, at the May meeting. That will be the meeting where we will discuss, and you guys will say, yes, we're good with this, or here are things that we want to change. Whatever feedback is given during that meeting, I will take back with Jackie as the Finance Committee, and we will finalize those changes, and we will vote to approve the budget at the June meeting. At that meeting will be the public hearing and our meeting to approve it. So any feedback that you guys have, we want to get it during the May meeting so that we don't have to go back for multiple meetings. We have to have this approved at the June meeting. So any feedback that you have, I want it up front and clear. And one of the things that I am really trying to work on for our budget for this upcoming year is to be as specific as possible in each month's budget so that we have a very clear idea of where we are in our actuals to budget each month. Instead of just taking a year-end total and dividing it by 12 months, I'm pulling in the month that we pay the auditors. Whatever that amount is going in that month alone so that we know exactly where we are all year long.
Yeah, Bridget, I think probably a good idea to go ahead and budget most of the overhead-related expenses to the store.
Yeah, yeah, that was my plan.
Good.
And then I will have one final budget amendment for us to approve at the June meeting. I think we'll do the final budget amendment for the June meeting as well.
Sorry, I don't mean to distract.
Okay.
I just made a quick link for that site there.
Oh, thank you. So I think that's all my updates. Any other comments or thoughts around the Great Place to Work update or the additional information? Okay. That's all I have.
Okay. Bill, welcome back. I'm sure everybody in the whole town of Youngsville is glad to see you back in the office.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
Do you
Good
have-
to see you.
Do you have anything you want to comment on today?
Just a couple things. First, I wrote that URL up there, so it's tinyurl.com/YABC team. So if you put that in your browser, it'll take you to the site that Bridget just had up. And just so you're aware, it is a closed site insofar as it's only available to ABC store members. So when you go there, it'll prompt you to log in with your ABC store email. So you can put your first initial last name at townofyoungsville.org, and then whatever password you have. If you have any login issues, you just let Bridget know, and she'll get our IT staff to work that out. But if you have any trouble accessing it, just let us know. The only other items I wanted to mention were regarding the tastings and the alcohol education, so I just wanted to make some clarifications. So in North Carolina, local governments operate under, there's kind of two, from a kind of strategic level, there's two ways that local governments can operate with regard to their relationship with the state. One relationship is local governments can generally do anything that they're not prohibited to do by state law, and then the other kind of option or relationship is that local governments can only do what they're specifically allowed to do by state law. And in North Carolina, we are Dillon's rule state, which is the relationship where we can only do what the state has explicitly allowed us to do in state law. So if the legislature hasn't said the town of Youngsville or the Youngsville ABC board can do this, then we can't do it. So just wanted to clarify that, and in the context of the events that we're having, I want to applaud Bridget's efforts and the entire team's efforts because essentially what they're doing is they're working within that constraint to be as friendly and as helpful to our customers and satisfy them in the best way possible. And I think it's excellent what they're doing, especially given the constraints that we're operating within. A couple of general constraints I just wanted to let the board be aware of are with regard to the alcohol. So there's two things that we're kind of talking about, events that we're having, which are alcohol education and then tastings. So the alcohol education is a program that is approved by the State ABC Commission that basically educates people about responsible consumption of alcohol, right? So, what are the signs of alcohol abuse? What are, for example, the legal limits for driving with alcohol, in your blood? What are some responsible ways to consume alcohol, right? The state has kind of an approved curriculum for this, where they've got, handouts and lots of other things, similar to, I don't know if people, I guess maybe from the, was it the Reagan days or maybe the Bush days about the DARE program where it was, kind of drug prevention and intervention. It's kind of a similar program, but for alcohol. And so we can advertise that via social media and electronically. So these are the types of things that we're going to be advertising via the Facebook webpage, et cetera. Another thing that we're doing is the tastings, which I think are excellent events, and certainly the State EBC Board has a kind of framework for us to do them, but we can't advertise for the tastings specifically via electronic means. So we can't put the tastings on our Facebook website, and we can't email people about the tastings, but we can advertise for those events in store. So what Bridget's creatively done is, I think when customers are getting bags, there's like a little card, note card type thing that they get with information that they'll get as an insert right in their bag when they, leave the store. And then of course there's signs and other, ways that we can notify them when they're in the store about these tastings. And then of course, the distillers that we invite, because they're not government agencies, can also advertise, that they're having these tastings. So just be aware that there are certain constraints that we're operating within, but I think, we're certainly doing our best to just generate some value for the customer. And I certainly want to applaud Bridget, but just kind of make you aware that there's, those caveats where we can't put the tastings on the Facebook page, but we can advertise about the alcohol education. What we're doing to kind of make it easier for our customers is we're having the two events at the same time. Right, so I think eventually our customers might understand that, every, second and fourth Friday or whatever they're having the alcohol education, there's probably going to be a tasting associated with that. And so, again, we're trying to be creative and compliant at the same time. So I just kind of wanted to share that information with everybody. That's all I have.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Emily, do you have anything you want to report on?
I actually have a couple of things. I will not be in attendance for the May board meeting. That is my second week of clerk school. The fourth week of clerk school will also affect October, but we'll worry about that later. But I'll have everything ready, and Bridget and Phil will be able to get everything going for the board meeting, and I can do minutes from the recording again. Second, it is time for your reappointment. Are you willing to be reappointed? Or
Yes, it's been my goal since coming on this board is to get us a new store, and I'd like to at least make it through there.
all right, so that will be on the May agenda for the Board of Commissioners,
Okay.
just for your record, and that will put you through June 30th, 2024. And finally, the Ledger's Board of Trustees. So for those of you that are not familiar,
You digging up a bone here, aren't you?
well, they meet this month. I finally have an update for a change, but we have applied for state retirement, local government retirement for the full-time employees of the ABC store. And this has been going on for over a year. And at the state level, it's just been a little bit difficult. But according to Patrick that I spoke with, they will meet Thursday, April 29th at 9:30 a.m. The final agenda has not been set, but he's given me a link to the webpage that once it's up, I'll be able to see what's on there. And I can forward y'all that information if y'all want to check on the agenda as well. But they will vote, in theory, on April 29th, whether they will add or decline our application for the state retirement for the ABC board. One of the problems that we've had is there's not a lot of new people applying for it. You know, your cities are pretty much there, and, you know, it's just a random, you know, kind of ABC board type thing that's going in. So they have stopped doing monthly. They've done it once a year. A second problem that we had, I think Rick's familiar with this, but the rest of you are probably not so much. The Youngsville ABC Board was created in June of 1971. And because the information was so old, the state archives and the Franklin County Board of Elections did not have the proper paperwork that was needed. So I have gone through several hoops to get us to where we are, and they have information from those departments as to why the information is not available. And they said they should be able to work around that and move forward. So hopefully everything will go good at the end of the month, and I will let you know what's going on as soon as I hear any information.
So this is to add eligibility for participation in the local government retirement system for full-time employees, which should at this point be Bridget and Jason.
And that's it for me. Thank you.
Well, man, I want to thank you again in front of everyone here. Great job you do on the minutes every month. We appreciate it.
Yes, you too. Thank you very much.
Next item on the agenda is a closed session. I'd like to go into closed session today, just for no other reason to approve the minutes from our February meeting and maybe discuss one other item.
Is it for personnel?
So could I have a motion to go into closed session
For personnel.
for personnel?
I make a motion to go into closed meeting for personnel.
Second? I'll second that motion. Okay. All those in favor say aye.
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 Okay, bye, y'all.
Have a wonderful day,
Okay.
Jackie.
Bye, Jackie.
Thanks.
Okay, we're back in regular session now. And Emily, direct me, do we just need to ask for a motion to adjourn, or is there something else we need to do?
I think it would be appropriate, just for the record, to state also that the board convened in closed session to discuss personnel and that no action was taken.
Okay, good deal. All right.
And then you can ask for a motion to adjourn.
Is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn?
Second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thanks, everyone, for coming.